he went and got a girlfriend from Bahamas and married her. Free. The relationship became sore. The lady ran away from Bahamas to another country, but she carried all the documents of the passport and the others. What is more critical, 13, is that the balance he sent to his mother in Kenya. Lastly, the mother was told to buy land for his son. She never bought the land.
I didn't know water was thicker than blood.
Normally, generally, we believe that blood is thicker than water. Those you are related to are more close to you. They cannot hurt you. Welcome to Court Helicopter Diaspora version. We'll be getting murder stories. We'll be getting rape stories. We'll be getting robbery stories. We'll be getting extradition stories. We shall be getting landmark decisions that are in courts across the world, from India to the USA, to Canada, to UK, to South Africa, to Tanzania, to Qatar, to China, where Kenyans have been involved in court cases. We shall also be looking at landmark cases globally that touch on serious politicians. What about the Lungu matter? What about the Ramaphosa petition? What about the Besigye case? What about the Monica Lewinsky case? What about the Donald Trump's cases? Phase 2, we shall also be looking at cases that affect celebrities. Today, we are starting with the famous case of Douglas Gumi. This, and I will give it the way it is. This is a Privy Council appeal number 0036 of 2022. This is a judgment where Douglas Gumi, the appellant, versus the Attorney General of the Bahamas and others who are respondents from the Court of Appeal of the Commonwealth of Bahamas before Lord Briggs, Lord Kitching, Lord Sells, Lord Richards, Dame Ingrid Simler, DBE, and this is a judgment given on the 5th of April, 2023. The case was heard on the 7th of February, 2023. Paragraph 9. On 12th January 2011, he was caught up with immigration officers who arrested the appellant at his home and took him to the Kamishel Road Detention Center. Paragraph 10. On 10th January 2011, he was arraigned before the Magistrates Court on charges of overstaying contrary to Section 28(1) and 3 of the Immigration Act 1967 of Bahamas and engaging in gainful occupation contrary to Section 29(1) and 2 of the Immigration Act 1967. According to the Magistrates Court, note on the court docket, the appellant pleaded guilty to the first count and not guilty to the second count. Sentencing on the first count was deferred to 20th January 2011. The prosecution withdrew the second count. Paragraph 11. On January 20th, 2011, the appellant was sentenced by the magistrate on the first count. No penalty was imposed, but the court docket recorded the following, and I quote in verbatim. 20/01/2011, defendant ordered deported to his homeland, Kenya, Africa. End of quote. Paragraph 12. The appellant continued to be held in the detention center and no steps whatever were taken by the respondent to effect his deportation. The evidence the appellant gave about the conditions in which he was held was summarized by Charles Judge. In summary, his evidence included that he suffered pain in the consequences of oppressive conduct by officers at the detention center. On one occasion, he was taken from the dormitory into the kitchen by officials. There, he was stripped naked, tied, handcuffed under the table, and then beaten with a PVC pipe by the officers. He suffered wounds to his back, and that became infected. There was severe overcrowding in the dormitory, resulting in illness and disease. The dormitory was never cleaned, the toilet could not flush, and the water was bad. There were raids in which tear gas was used. Paragraph 13, the judge accepted his evidence. She also found that the appellant was badly beaten on several occasions by officers at the detention center and subjected to cruel and degrading human treatment. This is a story of the judge. This story was brought to the Privy Council. What did the Privy Council talk? The Privy Council is similar to the Supreme Court of Kenya. Paragraph 103. The board's conclusion on the issues raised by this appeal mean that the Court of Appeal's judgment is undisturbed, save in relation to one aspect of this case. Although the law empowered the appellant detention for the purpose of making a decision to deport him, and thereafter, if authorized by the Governor General pending his removal from Bahamas, no deportation order was ever made. Indeed, nothing was done in the initial 3 months period by way of arranging either step. Accordingly, there was no basis for the judge's finding that there was a period of detention assessed as 3 months. That was lawful. This period of detention, less a couple of days, was unlawful. The Court of Appeal was wrong to hold otherwise. He succeeded in the first limb of the appeal. 2. Damages for this period fall to be assessed accordingly. Since no other aspect of the award is to be remitted, the board has concluded that it should assess damages for this period only. Acknowledging that this is not an initial shock case and taking into account the findings made by the judge about the appellant's appalling treatment and the conditions of his unlawful detention, including the fact that he suffered assault, that the treatment was malicious and oppressive, and that his constitutional rights were breached, the global award of this 3 months period is assessed at 50,000 euros. There will be interest payable on that sum in accordance with the Court of Appeal. For all the reasons, paragraph 105, the board will humbly advise His Majesty that 1. The appeal should be allowed against the finding that the respondents were lawfully entitled to detain the appellant for a reasonable period, assessed as 3 months, pending arraignment for his deportation. 2. The appeal in relation to all other grounds should be dismissed. 3. It should be determined that the respondent should pay damages in respect of the additional period of unlawful detention of approximately 3 months, assessed in the global sum of 50,000 euros, with interest payable thereon from the date of the writ at the rate of 6.25%. This is the judgment of the Privy Council. Briefly, what are the issues in this matter? 1. A Kenyan went to Bahamas, Daniel Ngumi. 2. He went and got a girlfriend from Bahamas and married her. 3. The relationship became sour. The lady ran away from Bahamas to another country, but she carried all the documents of the passport and the others. 4th, his time of expiry of the visa ended. He had to go to another country, come back as a tourist into that country. 5th, lastly, he was arrested. When he was arrested, he was detained. He was detained for 3 months. 3 months is just similar to miscellaneous application in Kenya for investigations. 6th, he was taken to a magistrate's court and ordered deported. 7th, he was never deported. Instead, they kept him there for 6 years and 3 months. 8, when his advocates realized, went to court, he was released. 9, he went to the Bahamas courts, first court, seeking for compensation. He was awarded some small money that he was not satisfied. 9, he went to the Court of Appeal in Bahamas. He was awarded money that he was not satisfied. 10th, he went to the Privy Council in Britain, and the Privy Council and reviewed the amount of money, and he got in total 11 million in terms of Kenyan shillings. Out of this 11, number 12, he paid the lawyers' fees, the American lawyers' fees of around 400,000 euros or dollars. What is more critical, 13, is that the balance he sent to his mother in Kenya. Lastly, the mother was told to buy land for his son. She never bought the land. Lastly, the son, Daniel Gumi, traveled to this country. He has nothing. He is sleeping on the floor. He is there. And in his own words, he says, water is thicker than blood.
I didn't know water was thicker than blood.
Normally, generally, we believe that blood is thicker than water. Those you are related to are more close to you. They cannot hurt you the way a stranger can hurt you. This episode brings you the diaspora aspect of what Kenyans are facing. Wakili Dan Sanamari, we thank Vivian, who had to look for authorities from Bahamas in the US, to look for authorities from the UK and bring them for the Kenyans. Keep watching as the episodes unfold. Thank you.